Hi everyone, welcome back to TikTok with us. Hi everyone, welcome back to TikTok with us. Here I'm CJ Oliver and this is Celine together with Nicola and Achilles, and we're going to be discussing our topic about the negative impacts of TikTok to the academic attention span of JHS students. So,
Before we start our stream, let's take a moment to take a moment to promote our social media accounts. As you can see in the design, our Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok accounts are listed there. So please follow us and subscribe to our accounts or channels.
so for an overview of our topic for today, it will be about, as I've said before, TikTok and the negative impacts it has on the academic attention span of students and how it hinders our academic performance and everything.
Okay. So this topic of ours, we actually went through it last streaming. So, but we solely focused on the positive and negative impact. But this time, we'll be focusing on the negative impacts of TikTok on the academic attention span.
This time we conducted an interview with junior high students. We asked them 4 questions and then compiled them into two. In the video, we will be discussing the typical questions that we come across to in regarding this topic. So let's watch them right now.
Personally, I think TikTok has negatively affected my attention span, especially in academics. Because of how distracting TikTok can be, it's made my attention span very short, and it hasn't been able to make me focus in my academics.
For me personally, I think TikTok has both negatively and positively impacted my attention span when it comes to doing schoolwork. Inside naman, it really does have you procrastinate a lot when it comes to doing schoolwork, kaya you don't really get anything done. And I think it does both positively and negatively affect me when doing schoolwork.
Because TikTok is a very engaging platform when you see TikTok and like it's really hard to focus because TikTok is like has a lot of topic that really engaging, so we can't really avoid like to procrastinating while using TikTok.
I guess it really impacts me because I'm on it a lot and I usually use it like at least 5+ hours a day. So it really affects my schoolwork most of the time, pero I'm really trying to work into that.
Like a lot because I mostly get distracted at school because of boredom and I really don't I mean, sometimes I don't pay attention at school.
Yes, because of how distracting the videos can be. Because of the short duration of the videos, it can be very distracting, especially for me, as I get really distracted in things that catch my attention. And TikTok is all about those types of content, and it's just definitely made my concentration less.
Yes, 100%. I think most of the people do struggle a lot when it comes to TikTok. And ayun, it's because essentially of the fast-paced videos that you can watch during your free times, and really that is a big aspect when it comes to TikTok.
Yes, because I always use TikTok and like it doesn't really help me, but I really need to use TikTok because for engagement purposes.
Yes, because in our generation, phones are like a really big thing in our life. So you just can't live without it. For me. And I guess when schoolworks wise, I really struggle a lot since I can just grab my phone rather than just like go page to page on textbooks, sites, websites, and stuff like that. So it's really something that I need to work on.
Yes, because I sometimes I don't do it on school or home because I always think of myself. I will do it like next day, and I never do it. Yeah.
Biggest thing about the answers from our interviews. Well, for me, I find that it's very relatable, of course, and I, it's my opinion that I highly doubt that any of us won't get like it because it's pretty, it will hit pretty close to my. What else is it?
So for me, based on the videos, they said that they do struggle with concentration and also TikTok has a lot of negative effects on their academic attendance span. Personally, I do agree with it since, of course, I experienced what they said in the video. And I do think that the things that they experience, we students also do experience. How about you, Victor?
For me, the answer actually very correct and because some students do struggles on homework or study because of TikTok. Whenever they're trying to do their homework, they use TikTok. They put them their time, giving them they can do their homework. But I completely agree with the students. I remember the interviews and I completely relate because I too procrastinate on my past because I don't know, I just watch TikTok and yes, I watch TikTok and then I don't even know that it's late already, so I can't do my task anymore. So uh, that's all.
Well, these are the answers from our interview. I'm pretty sure that most students will relate to this as, after all, TikTok does continue to make it a struggle for majority of us to focus. Say, you're you're doing work and then your mind to using TikTok. Either you start off by using TikTok as a way to search something, but then you end up scrolling for hours. Although I am curious to you viewers what your answers will be. So while you're giving out your answers, how about we move on to the next video?
How distracting the app can be. Um, the the duration, for example, can just distract me a lot because it's just short. So parang it's okay, just a few more videos because it's just 15 to 30 seconds lang naman. Pero just by that, it's already distracting for me, and that it's just even looking at my assignments, just TikTok seems to be the better option. Just like which negatively impacts my attention span.
When doing the schoolwork, when it comes to just being the TikToks, it really disturbs the environment that I'm in. Especially when it comes to viewing just one video, you always come up scrolling through endless videos. And a big aspect is also procrastination. When it comes to doing schoolwork, hindi ka talaga to focus on doing something when you're easily distracted with things like
Yes, it's really hard to allocate my time while using TikTok. Like, I always have a second option if I will do the task or not. It's either like, wait pa ba to? Wait lang, TikTok muna ako. Like that. And like,
I guess it affects me a lot negatively because I'm usually on my phone a lot, and most of the time I just end up scrolling through it because of boredom.
Sometimes because when I finish a question, and my phone is near to me, and it's like I always think, I will watch TikTok for like 5 minutes, and that it became like 1 hour.
For me, TikTok definitely is the sole problem for my procrastination. It's just, like I said before, the duration, the topics that I see, it just ultimately distracts me from what I'm actually supposed to do. And it just leads to cramming and there's more stress, and I really don't like that. So that's what its negative impacts that does to my academic.
TikTok in negative side really destroys the concentration that you have in your schoolworks. I think when you're looking for something that can bother you for a bit, I think TikTok really helps with that. And hindi mo talaga matatapos yung mga kailangan mo gawin. And ayun nga, just like what I said, procrastination is a big aspect when it comes to TikToks. And I think that are the specific things for TikTok.
and the negative side of this is the allocating your time and procrastinating. Because for allocating your time, it's really hard for you to make or to do the certain tasks that given to you. And procrastinating is like, wait, gagawin ko pa ba to? And may gusto ko mag-TikTok like that.
Oh, I guess it affects me negatively in a way that I usually submit like almost all of my schoolworks late, and it also affects me negatively since puyat ako. Let's just put it that way. Puyat ako, and even though like I'm awake late at night, I still won't do the schoolwork just because TikTok is just right around the corner, so I just grab that instead of the schoolwork. So
I think often and sometimes, I think it's just in the middle. I always do my things, but I mostly get distracted on TikTok.
The questions. I am curious from our viewers, what their takeaways might be. For now, I'll be giving away my takeaway and as well my other members, and I hope that you guys have your own takeaways from the interview. For me, the daily usage of TikTok will affect me in a way that it kind of proves the point that TikTok really does take away most of your time because let's say try spending like unconsciously spend your day the way you usually do. Open TikTok, spend as many hours you usually do on it without checking. And when you remember, come back to the TikTok to TikTok and then check your time usage or average time, then you'll see that Even though it may have been only a few minutes for you, maybe an hour, you will find that it's been 5 hours since you opened it. And you will also realize that our daily usage of TikTok takes up so much time of our daily lives. Say, let's say you have a half day at school. You have so many hours to be preparing, studying, doing your homework, you're given so much time, and yet you still spend stupid time on TikTok, scrolling and scrolling, and I don't know, checking out edits, checking out fandoms, any drama, any daily news. You find yourself distracted or being intrigued by something else, you will forget your typical, your what you're supposed to do. Um, At least that's my takeaway from it. I don't know if other people have the same opinion as me. So now we'll switch to Celine and let's see what her takeaway is.
So I actually do agree completely with what Camille said because also based on our interviewees, there are people there or some of our interviewees have said that they're shocked by their duration, like the time they spend on TikTok, because they didn't expect that it took them so long to scroll and find videos that are like relatable and stuff. Just sometimes they can forget what to do, especially like their tasks or schoolworks. There is actually like one or two interviews based on the video. They gave out an example where they said like, oh, should I do it right now? Should I do my task right now? Wait now, I'll just scroll on TikTok for like a couple of minutes and then they'll find out that, oh no, I spent so much time on TikTok already. And for me, that's a very occasional thing that happens. So I do relate so much with our interviewees and not only to them and to me, but I also think that other students experience what they are experiencing. So taking it away, I'll be let me get your opinion. But
my opinion is, I find task mostly take most of your time instead of doing some work because I've been a big time too when there's one slow one and you keep getting in those 10 or more and just to get on TikTok and then I realize I spend too much. That I also realized that I can do more than things now for on TikTok doing their homework, doing their content because TikTok mostly is really eating your time to memorize it or memorize it instead of doing your homework. So you cannot rush it every tomorrow or another day. And you can learn more about the topics that we were about to answer the school, so you can really the last one. That's my thing. I love the opinion.
I'm going to go that. Yes, TikTok does have an negative impact. Negative about it. Yung mga attention span because it also happens to me. For example, when I was at home, I was supposed to do my homework, but instead I watched TikTok and when I looked at the time, it was already like 5 p.m. So I realized at that moment that I procrastinated because of TikTok and the fact that TikTok is where you can watch anytime and anywhere, and your homework it's not permanent. It's not gonna stay there long longer for like that. So that made me reflect. So yeah.
I think of it. I also realized that well, not a lot of people will realize this, but most videos on TikTok tend to last at least 30 seconds. So let's say you're watching a 30-second video and you watched it again, so that's a minute spent of your time. So you might not realize it, but a minute is a lot. Like if you've ever experienced being in a like at that waiting for a dentist to call you, minutes are actually really, really long. 30 minutes is not doesn't come by fast. So let's say you tend to watch the same type of content over and over again. You wouldn't realize that you spent 40 minutes on it until you actually check the time. And I'm pretty. So we will really
So I actually agree. And just like what they say, time is gold. So also in the video, I want to discuss more about their interview answer. They also said that it makes them procrastinate. So I forgot if I said it already, but they said that in the video, like the video that they watched, they didn't expect the time they spent on TikTok already. Because they thought it was like for only minutes. Tapos they realized na, oh no, it's been hours. So yeah, that's what they do. Yeah.
It's interesting to see that all of us have the same type of answers. So it just proves that all of us struggle with TikTok and its negative impacts on us. You don't know it yet, but we really do. So I'm really curious what the viewers may think about this, what their takeaways are. So I think while you guys are sharing your own takeaways, experiences, and opinions, let's talk about our RRL, which is an acronym for I'm gonna name for research. Research development. Research review of research. So this RRLs are something that you will be encountering in 10th grade. So if you're scared about this, don't. It's kind of it's hard. So in our RRL, we actually use our RRL as reference to prove and strengthen our points regarding this topic. You may notice in our research paper that when our questions, they very much align with the studies conducted by the researchers mentioned in our RFL. And speaking of those researchers,
So this was one article that came by 1A and Sanya K. So in the research, they found out that 7 out of 10 students has difficulty on concentrating when it comes to their studies. So yeah, it's shocking because I thought it wouldn't be that. But then, yeah, it's not happening.
not only that, but there's also another article conducted or study conducted by Jim. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but JINXIT. He stated in his study that short form videos, it actually it had a really big part in the evolution of our attention span. Like I'm pretty sure I mentioned this before in our last stream. I hope you guys still remember. But in the last stream, I talked about how the average attention span of a human were 30 minutes. Like we can last 30 minutes or more doing absolutely something or focusing on one thing. We could read something for hours and not get bored of it, but lately, ever since the rise of TikTok during the pandemic, children, the youth, not just children, they've grown to only last a couple of seconds watching a content. Like we went from 30 seconds to 5 seconds in a span of only a few decades. So that's really concerning. It's concerning by itself. What are your thoughts about this?
So actually, based on my observation,
Wow.
I saw that some of not only children but the youth, like including us, our attention span really did lessen, especially because of the contributions such as the short-term videos that is provided. Also, I remember one article, correct me if I'm wrong, in there it stated that us, we have an attention span of 4 minutes. Yeah. So, yeah, I remember that and applying it to our and also the interviews, the answer of our interviews, we saw that the negative impacts of short-term videos or apps such as TikTok really does affect our attention span. So besides that, I want to get a take away well.
Really, yes, I really agree with our attention span with my being this by TikTok or social media because we can't really realize what are we doing that time. If TikTok was mostly famous due to their contents or video or some tips because you just share in your house and that make use TikTok a lot of time and not giving your link because when it was not now, it was like we're just driving the house, doing nothing because there's a virus coming around. So we have but I don't know what's thing is in
Based on the last answer, uh, the TikTok offers a wide variety of contents. You won't be too easily bored. There's continuous scrolling, so it gives you the temptation to just scroll and forget about not everything, but forget about your task. So scroll your phone. Let's do that. So that's the next. That's my point. That even though let's say you're in school and just you're just watching TikTok, so it no, your mind just completely shifts onto the given content of TikTok that you just completely forget about the task that was given to you or so it will give you a hard time and it will give you uh, energy to rush everything and answer the given tasks or given assignments. So yeah, it's fine.
So, by the words of our interviewees and us ourselves, and I hope you guys as well, if you commented your own experiences, takeaways, and opinions, then this topic, these experiences, this whole discussion just proves, just backs up our study that TikTok can be definitely addicting and really does play a huge role in the academic attention span of students and their academic performances as well. So to battle this behavior, me and my members created our own tips and recommendations to fight this addiction For me, let's start with replacing the habit. I recommend replacing the habit of opening it. Like every single time you get the urge to open, pick up whenever you're studying or you're doing something, try it and replace it. Go ahead and pick up your pencils, pick up a paper, start drawing, sketching, pick up a needle and a thread and start stitching. In that way, you can not only will you find passion in your craft, but you're also lessening your time on TikTok. And that in itself, you're basically getting two benefits in one. So simply what's perfect.
So for my tip, I have is using hashtag that can long ago. So some examples are freedom, forest, and stable. So these three apps can help you manage your time and the tasks that you like to use. For example, so there's an app um, wherein we can just block TikTok so that we won't have any access to it. So this app, the apps that are like this can help when it comes to our attention span, especially during, let's say, need to do something like schoolwork, IPPA, OAs. So this app really affects us and also has a positive impact on us. So that's for my tip. How about you?
For my tip is to this consolidation, you need to control what and picking to one side. It's like you need to listen, you get some other thing, mostly it's usually not to control some device. You get too much addicted in the TikTok, it's like a virus is well around you. Like you get very addicted like your phone has separated from you. Even if it's sharp, you're going to unplug it so you can just follow from there. On my tip is hang out with some friends, go outside, exercise, or do some other hobbies that I want to use there. But it's for my tip. How about you, Akil?
Or I'll give you a few tips, things that that personally because I reflected and a few things I got from my parents. So tip number one is you should really try to go outside. So let's say you're watching TikTok and you realize that this consumes so much time. So that one idea is go outside, play basketball, or volleyball, and actually anything. Just go outside, take a walk, go jog. Uh, and again, you can also try doing stuff on the inside, but just not watch TikTok. You can do I got from parents to and just playing playing stuff that just takes your mind off TikTok a bit. And my second tip is actually sa it's my personal tip. Do some chores. If you feel like you consume so much time on TikTok, just do some chores. Leave the house, go bathroom, do laundry, wash the dishes, and I mean, and lastly, don't be tempted. I know we know that TikTok is just an app, and it's not really important for all the people. So don't be tempted because TikTok is not really relevant. It's just an app that shows you not really important videos. So yeah, don't be tempted with this.
Well, as we're preparing the end for stream, unless you guys want to add more, we could talk about the benefits first before we do the shout out. Um, one of the benefits of staying away from TikTok, at least for me, is that, well, obviously, you may or may not get higher grades, but it may not be the grade that you really want to aim for, but you'll see some improvement in your grades and performance the moment you start realizing the negative effects of TikTok. Hence why we're talking about it so that we bring more light into this topic, into this problem, because we've noticed that it's not really a problem that a lot of people talk about. And even when we do talk about it, it's usually shrugged off as, oh, well, TikTok helped me with this, helped me with that. But they really only see one side of the coin and never the other. So that's one of the benefits. I'm pretty sure Celine also have something to say about the benefits.
So, firstly, I think the benefits that students, other family students, and the youth can inherit is that they get access to that. So basically, if let's say if they look at the in settings, you can see like the duration you spent on TikTok or other apps. So let's say the TikTok is like the top one in there. So if they realize that, oh no, my TikTok usage is too much. So they can just simply download the app and I think set a timer on when they can open it so that they can do other tasks. Also, the benefits are it can this our topic is the negative impact. Yes, this one. They can counter those negative impacts that are mentioned by our interviewee and also based on our health. And with that, fewer people and fellow students can acquire or relate to those negative impacts, which is of course negative so that is bad um and with the help of the app it can also shift our perspective of the things that we can do when we're using. I will not use it the app. So realization can get you like, oh I should have done this, I should have done that, I can do this and that and things like that. So basically it wanders off our mind to different subjects and also different perspectives that we can um, find or identify while not thinking. So that's my benefit. So how about you?
For me, it's my benefits on the topic. One people is to learn coming up with the negative side to the attention span and the students. Is TikTok being negative side, giving us students different what good we said it can be highly addictive and it can lower the process of your weight or affect function. And for the good benefit is this can help students relax by looking for some other video, reels, or some with their sometimes academic and with their students. Too much government.
I'll give you guys the benefits so that I gave you three tips. So, my first, yeah, one benefit, some lesson. So, one benefit that we'll get doing three tips that I suggest is it will completely relax your mind and it reduces your stress. It comes in, takes your mind off certain things that might cause problems. I that you deal with stress. Uh, let's say homework is giving you stress. Uh, do do the one thing I do the one thing that I suggest is I suggest that is go outside and So it will completely relax your mind and completely reducing the stress on homework and once just relax your mind, relax your relax your body and then so once you go home and do your homework, you will be you will just be okay answering the homework. So yeah, that's my meditation. That's my meditation. Ayun na, sa pamilya ko.
So, before we end this stream, I'd like to give a big shout out to shout out to Isabel Catherine Abanila,
Shout out kay Louie. Shout out kay Lap. Shout out kay ikaw. Shout out kay Dayo. Shout out kay Jamila. Shout out sa pamilya ko dyan na nasa trabaho.
we're also gonna thank and shout out our interviewees, like I've said, Isabel Catherine Abanila, Regis Gabriel Nasao, Jailin Makatana rin, Rodney Calderon Cruz, and Jacob Bangsa. We'd also like to thank LF, our LF, for guiding us to this whole process of being this busy.
We love shout out kay Livin lang Chuas. So,
Thank you so much, Miss, for
shout out sa iyo. Shout out sa mga landas. Yun na.
Oh, shout out to our friends who helped us in viewers and followers on our Songpen.
Shout out kay Landus. Shout out to Archie.
Kay Archie.
Shout out to Archer.
Okay.
no problem.
Now we're really
Now we're in the end of the stream, and then yes.
TikTok with us.
So I hope you guys learn on that kind a little bit from our stream. And I hope you guys enjoy our stream. So once again, thank you for journeying with us.
This is TikTok with us with CJ and the ball.
Here you there.
Yes.
And
That's all of it.
this class and Ethan.
Bye.
That's all.
Bye.
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 That's outside.